This video is for my softies, my empaths, my lovers, the people who wear their hearts on their sleeves, that care from intensity and can't seem to get out of worrying or putting other people before them. This video is for you. We're going to talk about something very specific and extremely important in order for you to be a better version of yourself and be able to give that care and that love that you keep offering out without it feeling depleted or taken advantage of. It's something called being self-full. No, I did not say selfish. I said self-full. And yes, there is a difference. And yes, there is a difference. So this topic was sparked by one of my coworkers. Shout out to Judy if you're listening. But she asked me a specific question. She asked me, how do I stay happy? And at the time, it was kind of like, well, I don't stay happy all the time, but I guess I do put off a happy disposition. And I think my immediate answer to her, the one that I could come up with at the moment, was that I don't bring my problems with me when I go or wherever I go. I kind of leave my heartache, my worry, my anxiety, all the things that I feel that everyone else feels at home, or wherever I'm going to leave it at the time, and I'll pick it up later on. Unfortunately, it happens that way, but yes. And to me, when I gave her that explanation, it just didn't feel like enough. It didn't feel like I was really giving her the full, because the problem is when you say that you leave something at home, it's like, oh, you can pick it up and drop it. You like, burdens are something I can easily, lift and move around as if my burdens are any less than anybody else's. And that's completely not true. So I took some time and I've been thinking about this question of how do I keep a happy disposition even while going through something that may be saddening or, brings me, unhappiness and problems in my life. And I can't say that there are not some traumas that out trump, any type of happiness that I'm trying to put out into the world. Someone dies in my family, of course, I'm going to, have the same reaction as everybody else. But we're talking about day-to-day worries. We're talking about, family issues, hardships, things like that, and how to leave those burdens where they're at and be able to deal with them on a later note and deal with them a little bit differently. It's because I do something different, and it's called being self-full. So here's the problem with people who love and care and put people before them. Being self-full feels like being selfish. Being self-full gives people guilt, anxiety. They feel bad when being self-full. What is being self-full actually? Self-full is taking the time to put yourself first in any circumstance. So what's the difference between being selfish and being self-full? Being self-full is putting yourself first regardless of what's going on. Taking care of you, and then taking care of whatever situations that you have to take care of. It's the equivalent to when you are on an airplane and the flight attendant explains that you need to put on your mask before you can put on anyone else's. Because inevitably what happens is you'll put on everyone else's mask and help them out, and then you will lose oxygen and pass out and be the one who doesn't make it. So being self-full is putting on your oxygen mask first, then going out, because now you have the ability to help others. Being selfish is putting your circumstance or you before any situation that's happening, period. Being selfish is putting your mask on and getting up out of there. It is always putting yourself first, no matter the situation or circumstance. I'm going to say it again. Being self-full is putting yourself first, regardless of what's going on. Being selfish is putting yourself first, no matter who or what or it's about. There is a big difference. Now, a person who is an empath, a lover, cares from the heart, puts people ahead of themselves, will feel guilty when doing selfful acts. Selfful acts are things like going to spas and taking breathers, taking moments to yourself, even when circumstances are bad. So, for example, you are having, family turmoil. Maybe your daughter is not getting along with your husband and they've been having spats and fights and everything. And it's been a real tumultuous situation at home or whatever. It's bringing you a lot of worry. It's bringing you a lot of stress. Maybe she's problem child, and she does this often, and it's bringing strife between you and your husband because you guys are, butting heads about how to deal with your daughter's situation. This is just a scenario. It's not the actual truth. It's just a scenario. Being selfful is being aware that you're under a whole lot of stress and taking times out. Going to the spa for a few hours, regardless of the situation, because best believe when you come back, that situation is still going to be there. But that peace, that release that you're giving yourself allows you to better get up and deal with the situation when it arises. Being selfful is knowing not to take on burdens that don't belong to you. If you have a family member that's laying out all of their issues and their problems on you, calling you because you're a good ear to listen to, a shoulder to lean on, that's fine. But if their burdens become so much, or you're taking on the responsibility of what they got going on to the point that it's bogging you down, then it's not your burdens and you have to lay them down. Now, it'll feel selfish to tell your family member, listen, I cannot listen to you tonight about your issues because you got too much going on and I cannot handle all of that, or whatever. That statement may feel selfish, but it is actually an act of being full for yourself, knowing that you have come to your limit and releasing whatever is not for you. Because at the end of the day, someone else's responsibilities, someone else's problems, issues, and things that they have going on is not your cross to bear. You're living your life for you, by you. Boo. You know what I'm saying? So picking up other people's burdens and laying them on your back with your own burdens is a surefire way to put yourself in a selfless act, but be unfulfilled or unfull on your own. Be able to set the bar and just know when enough is enough. Don't take people's burdens on. Release them. Let people handle their own shit. Also, you're not the housekeeper. You don't need to clean up anybody's messes but your own. Your family comes first. Your issues comes first. Everybody else's issues and their family. People, let me tell you this. People will unload whatever you would like to take on, because most people don't want the responsibility of their own crap anyway. So if you're willing to take on someone else's mess, if you're willing to go clean it up, to go fix it, to go make it better for them, to fix their boo-boos, then yes, they will most definitely allow you. And you are the one who is responsible for telling them when you're tired, when you've had enough, when this is not okay, when I'm done with that. It's your responsibility. And if you never open up your mouth and say that, if you never put up a boundary for how much you're willing to give, offer how much you're willing to worry about a situation, or, then it's ultimately your responsibility, and they wash their hands of it. As a matter of fact, they've washed their hands of their own responsibility. That's why they dropped it all on you, and you've been willing to pick it up. If you are a lover, empath, where's your heart on your sleeve, baby? Please know this. Being so full is not picking up other people's messes. Let them clean their own mess up, or let them keep a dirty house. That's on them. Another way of being so full is doing the things that you love. And don't let nobody talk you out of it. If you like to eat sushi, then honey, give yourself a sushi date once a month. Make sure you set it up at the favorite restaurant and make sure you have that little spending money off to the side, no matter what your financial circumstance is. If you are already having financial problems and then bills ain't getting paid anyway, sometimes it's okay to take a few dollars and give yourself a peace of mind for the day until you figure it out. Because guess what I've learned? When you are in a happy and joyous mood, ideas come. When you are under pressure, when you are under doubt, fear, lack, insecurity, sadness, worry, all you are wrapped in is those sad, tumultuous energies that do not produce productivity. No one has ever made triumph out of a sadness, fear, and worry. Not at all. Even when you hear people say that they've came from a place of, I started from the bottom, now I'm here. I can't rap. When I started from the bottom, now I'm here. They don't say I started from the bottom and I was heartbroken and all of that, and I just stayed there being sad and worried and never made no. They started from the bottom and still felt like they was going to be something, do something, still push forward, still had a good face, they're not saying that part. That is what you have to still go out and give yourself love. It's an act of self-love. Living or drowning in worry, sadness, failure, being wrapped up in people's traumas, drama, and the woes of living is a cycle of continuously having to run on that rat wheel. You won't get off of it. Do the things that make you happy, that bring you joy. Parks. Ground yourself. Go out into the sun. If you like to swim, go swimming. If you like to eat, go eat something. Watch a movie. Take the time out for yourself. Because when you do that and you walk back in a peaceful state into any tumultuous situation, you see things from a different perspective. You have the ability to make different decisions. And you realize that things are not as bad as they actually appear. And you may be putting more worry or carrying more burdens because the perpetual cycle of being in that tumultuous energy for such an elongated amount of time has caused you to believe that things are way worse than they really are. Has created an illusion. So, being self-full is doing for you the things that you should always do for you, no matter what the circumstances are. And that way, when you walk into a situation that doesn't have anything to do with your turmoil at home, you can bring that zen, that peace that you acquired from that last spa, that last massage, that last, walk on the park, or that sit on the beach, or that, ice cream you had in your car, for Pete's sake. Like, whatever you needed to do to get that peaceful moment. Grab it, hold on to it, and ride that wave right through all that trauma, all that drama, and all that mess. All right, so we about to do my recap. Let's go. 1. I had to laugh at myself. 1. If you want to be self-full, make sure you do for yourself regardless of what the circumstance is. You cannot give to any situation until you give into yourself first. 2, stop picking up people's burdens. Let them bear their own cross. You are not Jesus. 3, let them clean up their own mess. They made it. You're not a housekeeper, and you're sure not a maid. And 4, last but not least, make sure that you give to yourself. Ride that wave of bliss and happiness. Find your zen wherever ye shall find it, sweetheart. Because really, do you want to live out the rest of your days in worry, sadness, and despair? You only got one life to live, and I don't think anybody told you when you about to go. Now, I've been stirring up this pot long enough. Bye for now.